Hello. Um, it has been not only a very long time since I have uploaded to this channel, but it has also been a very, very long time since I last showed this handsome face on camera. If I remember right, I have not done that since May of 2019 when I originally announced my LEGO The Walking Dead series on my original channel. I mean, I haven't really changed that much. I mean, except now I have these and this is on my face. I mean, these are here due to bad life decisions, and this is here so I don't look so much like a child anymore. So, I know why all of you are here. You're all wondering, where have I been for the last year? What have you been working on? What's going to happen to all the projects that you had previously? And I'm going to try to run through all of that. I'm going to try to lay out everything in this video now so we can all get caught up. So of course, to start with, where have I been for the last year? Why has there been no uploads? Quite simply, the explanation for that is pretty simple. It comes down to three reasons. First reason being time. There have been a lot of changes in my life over the last year or so. I won't go into all the nitty-gritty details with it, but I was working a job for several years, and after a certain point I wasn't liking that job anymore, so I wanted to switch career paths, and I did, and I started working on that different career path, but then I found that I did not like it anywhere near as much as I thought I had a promising career set up, but just the environment that I worked in was abhorrent, so I then had to, I didn't have to, I chose to go back to my previous career, which is where I'm currently stuck now, but I don't even want to do that anymore due to changes that went on while I was gone. And now discussions are being made to where I'm going to be moving state. I'm going to be moving from one state to another in less than a year. So, yeah, it might not sound like a lot with the way I explained it, but it's been a lot. There's been a lot going on, and because of that a lot going on, it has been eating up a lot of my time, and it's been taking away a lot of time that I could have been dedicating towards making videos. And the second big reason is motivation. I have unfortunately been lacking a lot of motivation to work on videos because unfortunately, it's hard to be able to pull off doing the kind of content that I do, especially when you're a one-man crew like myself. When you have to do everything, you get burned out after a while. I'm sure that anyone that has done the kind of content that I do knows the feeling. So yeah, more or less, that's why there's been nothing on the channel for the last year. There's just been too much going on in my life that has been hindering me. It's been hindering me from being able to work on the channel, basically. For the diehard fans out there, I'm sure you guys are now wondering, what's the future of the content for the channel now that I'm kind of sort of back? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen with the series that you had going previously? What do you have planned in terms of new stuff? What's going on with that? Well, pretty much, it's good news and bad news. We'll get to the bad news first. The bad news is pretty much everything that I had going on this channel before is not going to continue. So, LEGO Play with Fire is not going to continue. I had plans of doing a fourth case file, but unfortunately, with how poorly the third case file performed when I originally uploaded it on my previous channel, it kind of killed my motivation to want to continue working on it. I had started the script for the fourth case file. I got about halfway through the rough draft for it. But yeah, with how poorly the third case file performed, and also struggling to come up with creative ideas for future case files, it largely killed my motivation to want to continue with Play with Fire. And LEGO Sins of the West, that's not going to continue either, which really hurts because I was enjoying working on that series. I was having a lot of fun with it. But, it's very much inspired by Red Dead Redemption, as a lot of you pointed out. And I was really trying to kind of deviate it away from Red Dead Redemption, at least a little bit. Trying to come up with creative ideas to help it be at least a little bit different. But I was kind of struggling with that. And also, as much as I do love working with a cast of voice actors, as much as it helps to differentiate it from my previous work, that is a whole other layer of difficulty to making these videos. Because like I said, I'm a one-man crew. All of the writing, filming, most of the voice acting, and the editing, that's all me. And you would think that hiring voice actors and providing some of the vocals for me would make it easier. Well, yes and no. While it's easier on my vocal cords, it is not easier on me in the editing room because, the way that I have to splice up the audio to make it actually fit, it's a lot more difficult. Of course, does that mean that I'm not going to recruit people for voice acting ever again? No, that's not what that means. It's just that I'm likely going to be cutting back on that. And for very few projects will I call on people to voice act. And then, of course, the thing that most of you are here for, the future of my LEGO The Walking Dead series. Yeah, so you might remember I had plans of doing at least 3 spin-offs after I'd finished my main series. Yeah, those 3 spin-offs are not happening anymore. And it is largely due to the fact that I definitely bit off more than I could chew, thinking that I could balance working on not 1, not 2, but 3 spin-offs. It's just too much. It's too much for just one person like me to handle. And this is something that I'll go more in depth with in one of my next videos, but I have really grown to dislike The Walking Dead as a franchise now, which might be crazy to hear me of all people say, considering, what content I've made based around it, but I cannot stand The Walking Dead as a franchise anymore in the direction that it's gone in, and my disdain for it has really killed my motivation to work on these spin-offs. Though, to give a little bit more context, for a while now, the Ray and Sam spin-off and the Lloyd and Garrett spin-offs, I canceled those quite a while ago. I just hadn't gotten around to announcing it yet. But the one that was the closest to completion was the Brian and Emma spin-off, because I feel like for the most part, pretty much most of the characters had a pretty complete arc by the end of the main series, except for our 2 main characters, Brian and Emma. And so I really wanted to try to make this spin-off in particular work. I was actually making some decent progress on it. I had the first 6 episodes written, but it's just a matter of, again, my hatred for The Walking Dead as a franchise now, and also I am limited with what I could write with that, when keeping in mind the connection between Official Bricks' LEGO The Walking Dead series. And before any of you ask me, I don't know what's going on with Official Bricks. We still keep in contact with each other semi-regularly, but I don't know when or if he's going to be coming back. Before anyone asks me, okay? Now, does that mean that I'm going to be completely done with LEGO The Walking Dead content? Not exactly. I do want to do at least something to properly wrap up this story. It won't be a full-on spin-off. Maybe it'll be like a mini-series or something that'll run for like 5 or 6 episodes, something like that. I don't exactly know yet, but I promise you there will be at least something. But then after that, that's it. That's it with LEGO The Walking Dead content from me, after whatever I do to wrap up Brian and Emma's arc. So then what do I have working on instead? What's been cooking up in the pot if I've just been leaving that on the cutting room floor? A couple things, because that's the thing with me. I have so many ideas for future projects, but it's just, again, lack of time, and when You're the only one that's able to work on this. It's hard to be able to take all those ideas you have floating around in your head and actually being able to translate them from pencil to paper, then to camera, then to computer. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I've been mulling over a few ideas for future videos. Like I've been getting into a lot of like the Lego Marvel sets. I want to do some things with those. I've been kicking around the idea of revisiting Sherlock Holmes content, because for those of you that have been following my content for a while, you know that a long time ago, like almost 5 years ago, I did like a little Lego Sherlock Holmes video on my original channel, which, fun fact, was the first project I ever did where I called upon voice actors for it. But I've been thinking about revisiting that. I've been kicking around doing my own original Lego Zombie series that is not connected to The Walking Dead in any way. Been, going through a few ideas on what I could do for that. And I guess I would also like to say I do apologize for being MIA for this long. I didn't want to. I didn't mean on being gone for this long. It just kind of happened this way. But I do also want to absolutely say thank you to those of you that are still here, because I don't doubt that a lot of people just straight up left my channel in the dirt when they figured I wasn't coming back. But to those of you that are still here and are still watching, I do very much appreciate it. But I think that's going to just about cover it. I think I've largely gotten through everything that I wanted to say here. Content is definitely on the way. Like I said, there's a ton of ideas that I have going around. I want to try to start uploading somewhat frequently. But yeah, I basically want to try to get on a more consistent upload schedule and, try to start pumping out content somewhat frequently again. Kind of like what I was able to do way back in the day when I originally did my Lego The Walking Dead series. Though, of course, that was different because I was still in high school. Several years have passed since then. I'm now an adult with adult things going on. I'm sure that any of you young adults out there, you know what I mean, right? But anyways, thank you to all of you that stuck around this long to hear my voice and see my stupid face again. And I hope to see you guys soon. That's going to be the end of this update video, guys. I'll see you next time.